Welcome to today's Explainer. We're about to dive into something absolutely wild, a thrilling journey right through your body's magnificent internal delivery network. Yep, we are talking about the circulatory system. Honestly, you can think of it as the most complex, highly efficient, and utterly vital transit system on the planet. And the craziest part? It is all operating completely silently right beneath your skin at this very second. So let's explore the incredible engineering that's keeping you alive right now. Okay, to give you a real sense of the sheer scale we're dealing with today, get a load of this number, 60,000. That is the mind-blowing number of miles of blood vessels inside your body today. Think about that for a second. If you were to somehow take all of your body's blood vessels and lay them out end to end, well, that network is so vast, it would literally wrap around the entire Earth more than twice. Just incredible. Okay, let's dive into this, because I've got another staggering fact for you. 2,000. That is the number of gallons, which, by the way, is over 7,500 liters, of blood that your heart pumps every single day. Day and night, whether you're wide awake or fast asleep, your heart is just working tirelessly as the central hub, constantly pushing that massive volume of fluid through that crazy 60,000-mile network. Section 1. The body's highway system. Exploring the infrastructure inside you. Think about a bustling modern city for a minute. It completely relies on massive central water pipes that eventually branch out into tiny neighborhood lines to keep everything running, right? Well, your body relies on a perfectly engineered biological network in the exact same way. The circulatory system, which, medical professionals also call the cardiovascular system, is essentially just your heart and your blood vessels working perfectly in tandem. It's basically got this crucial dual-purpose role. On one hand, it functions as the ultimate delivery driver, bringing essential oxygen and nutrients to every single one of your cells. But on the flip side, it's also your body's most efficient garbage collector, constantly hauling away waste products like carbon dioxide and chemical byproducts so your organs can flush them out. And make no mistake, the stakes here are absolute life and death. The circulatory system is incredibly smart, and it aggressively prioritizes fueling your most critical organs, specifically the brain and the heart. Just like this quote highlights, if your brain doesn't get the blood it needs, you can lose consciousness within seconds. Without blood flow, irreversible brain damage can literally happen in just 4 minutes. So yeah, this is a highly demanding, zero downtime operation. Section 2. Following the blood, a continuous loop of life. This brilliantly illustrates the seamless, sequential circuit of blood flow that happens thousands of times every single day. Let's trace the cargo. It kicks off when your heart's right ventricle sends oxygen-poor blood straight through the pulmonary trunk to your lungs. Once it's there, the blood picks up a fresh payload of oxygen. Next up, it heads back to the left side of your heart, hitting the atrium first, then the really muscular left ventricle. That ventricle powerfully pumps this freshly oxygenated blood out to your entire body. And finally, after dropping off its nutrients and picking up all that cellular waste, your veins return that deoxygenated blood right back to the heart to start the whole loop over again. So just to keep things organized, we actually divide this massive loop into 2 distinct parts. When blood travels on that specific, short trip to get oxygen from your lungs and brings it right back to your heart, well, that's your pulmonary circulation. But once that fresh, oxygen-rich blood is pumped out to supply everything else from your internal organs all the way down to your toes, that broader, much larger route is called your systemic circulation. Section 3. Pipes of the network, the plumbing that keeps you alive. All right, so you've basically got 2 main types of large pipes making up this incredible infrastructure that you need to know about. On one side, we have arteries. These are thin, muscular tubes that are specifically designed to carry oxygenated blood away from your heart. Fun fact, the largest one in your body is the aorta. Now, on the flip side, we have veins. Veins have the job of returning the oxygen-depleted blood back to your heart. And what's really cool is that because veins often have to fight gravity, like when they're pushing blood all the way up from your legs, they actually possess these special one-way valves inside them to make sure the blood doesn't just flow backward. But here's the real question. How does the cargo actually jump from the pipes into your individual cells? Well, that magic happens in the capillaries. These are microscopic connection points that bridge your smallest arteries and veins. Their walls are ultra thin. I mean, we're talking about the critical drop-off and pickup zones where the actual, literal exchange of oxygen, nutrients, carbon dioxide, and waste products goes down at the cellular level. Actually, before we go any further, let's pause for a really common trivia question. Just take a second and look at the back of your hand or your wrist right now. You can probably see a few veins. And I'm betting they look noticeably blue, right? So, is the oxygen-depleted blood inside those veins actually blue? Now, what's really interesting about this is that it completely busts one of the most famous biological myths out there. The truth is, all blood is red, period, no exceptions. An iron-rich protein in your red blood cells called hemoglobin is what gives blood its red color. The blood returning in your veins is just oxygen poor, so it takes on a slightly darker, sort of bluish hue. The way light filters through your skin simply makes those veins look bright blue to your eye. But trust me, the liquid pumping inside is definitely red. So based on the rules of our biological highway that we just laid out, here's a slightly tricky question to test things. We established earlier that arteries carry blood away from the heart, usually to deliver fresh oxygen to the body. But do arteries always carry oxygenated blood? The answer is, well, mostly yes, but there is a totally fascinating exception. Remember that pulmonary circulation we talked about earlier? The pulmonary arteries actually carry deoxygenated blood away from the heart and into the lungs to pick up fresh air. And the pulmonary veins are the ones returning that beautifully oxygenated blood back to the heart. It's this really neat little role reversal in the plumbing system happening right at the center of your chest. Section 4. When the system slows, traffic jams on the biological highway. So far, we've seen how perfectly the system is supposed to run, right? Adapting to your body's needs, whether you are fast asleep or sprinting a marathon. But we really need to talk about what happens when it faces roadblocks. Because your blood vessels supply your entire body with oxygen, a blockage or slowdown anywhere makes it significantly harder to deliver that life-saving cargo. When the vessels get narrowed, you're looking at some dangerous conditions. Common roadblocks include things like high blood pressure and high cholesterol, which can easily lead to atherosclerosis, that's dangerous plaque buildup inside your arteries. And if these traffic jams completely block the flow of blood, the result can be a devastating heart attack or a stroke. Section 5. Protecting your pump. Maintenance for your 8 to 12-ounce engine. But hey, the good news is you are largely in the driver's seat when it comes to prevention. Your incredibly powerful heart only weighs about 8 to 12 ounces. It's tiny but mighty. And if there's one single number you should remember to keep that engine healthy, it's 150. That is the golden number of minutes of weekly physical activity you should aim for to maintain a clear, healthy circulatory system. Just 150 minutes of exercise a week can make a massive, massive difference in keeping your heart strong and your blood vessels fully dilated and clear. So the crucial point is that your daily lifestyle habits are highly effective tools for your heart health. Here is the ultimate maintenance checklist straight from the experts. Make sure you're getting enough sleep every single night. Keep a really close eye on managing your blood pressure and your cholesterol levels. Absolutely avoid tobacco products. Fuel your engine with heart-healthy foods. Specifically, you want to aim for things high in fiber and low in saturated fats. And finally, find healthy, effective ways to ease your stress. These are simple, everyday things, but they are profound steps to protect your cardiovascular infrastructure. We started this explainer by just marveling at the incredible, hidden workload of your circulatory system. I mean, your heart pumps 2,000 gallons of blood every single day, pushing it through 60,000 miles of vessels, without ever once asking for a break. It does all of that just to keep you alive and thriving. So, knowing all of that, I want to leave you with this final personal thought. What will you do today to protect your pump? Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey inside the human body. Stay curious and please take care of that amazing engine inside you.